This is Souvik Sen. I am here with the topic of General Studies Paper 4, Ethics, Integrity and Aptitude. So, before beginning with the topic, I would like to tell you, and I want you to know, that the topic of ethics, integrity, aptitude is not educational. It's not educative. It is more inspirational. You have to get inspired. My job is to inspire you. My job is to get you introduced with yourself, with your own value systems, with your own conscience. So, the only way to clear this exam for paper 4 would be to get involved. Your self-involvement is more important than your knowledge in this topic. However, whatever knowledge component is required for the purpose of this topic, I assure you, you will be given that. So there will be no dearth of knowledge. You will have all the relevant knowledge which is required. In addition, we will work over certain case studies, a lot of case studies, and then through them we will judge your responses, and I will try to shape your responses towards a desirable direction which is required for the purpose of this examination. To become a good civil servant, what is required is to first of all become a good human being. And all of us are basically good human beings. All that is required is to remove the dust which we have accumulated over time with our experiences. So, with this note, I would just like to give a brief outline, of this entire syllabus of paper 4. So, if I have to judge the syllabus, I would consider ethics, integrity and aptitude as a topic for self-exploration, self-enlightenment, and exploration of our value system. So, basically, if I have to give a feel of this topic, I would consider these factors as important factors. Now, the topics which are present in this area are related to psychology, in part, insightful philosophy, and in part pragmatism. In part, pragmatism. So the topics which are related to psychology are attitude, persuasion, values, social influence, emotional intelligence, and role of family and educational institutions. Role of family and educational institution. So, these are some of the topics which are related to psychology. So, some amount of knowledge of psychology is required to understand and appreciate the topics at depth. Insightful philosophy. The second part is insightful philosophy, in which we shall be dealing with teachings of great men, administrators, and philosophers. Here we will be dealing with the teachings of great people, the life experiences of great people, the crux of their life experiences, what they have earned through years of wisdom, years of applied wisdom, and what they have given back to this world, these philosophical ideas. If they can be imbibed within us, if they can be integrated within our personality, definitely we would turn out to be a better person in future. It will make us more reasonable, it will make us more wise, and it will take us to newer levels of existence, or I would say newer levels of living. Pragmatism, as I said, means being practical yet ethical, being ethically practical. Because civil service or public service is such a job in which we can never anticipate in advance the challenges which may rise, the opportunities which may be present in the situation, and at times it becomes imperative for a civil servant to take a situational decision within the confinement of the law, within the limitations of the law. He is supposed to take certain discretionary decisions which may affect the life of millions. And hence, his pragmatism should not be untamed. His pragmatism should be bounded by the law, it should be bounded by the ethics, it should be loaded with value. Okay? So in the section of pragmatism, we will deal with topics like citizen charter, right to information, corruption, probity, accountability, etc. So, In this section, we shall be dealing with all the provisions which are present in the law that is necessary to cut down the arbitrariness of a person, to put a check on the powers of a civil servant, or an attempt to reserve his rights with a sense of responsibility, a sense of duty. So, a choice has to be, a balance has to be made between rights and duties. A balance has to be made between democracy and leadership. There should be a check and balance when it comes to public service. And these are the required qualities that should be present within civil servant. Okay. So now, to begin with, we shall begin with the topic of psychology, and that is attitude. Once we have created a firm base over topics of psychology, we will be able to better appreciate the other parts or the other areas. Now, before I start, I would like to tell you something, that the way we will be administering this topic, the way I will be delivering this topic, will comprise of administration or delivery of the topic will comprise of theory, understanding of the theory, the concept, that is one part, and the case study part, which involves applying the concepts and the theory. Applying the concepts and the theory. For case study, you would be given the case study, you will be supplied with the case study. I will ask you to go through the case study. You will be given 15 minutes for each of these case studies. By that time, what you can do, you can press the pause button and solve the case studies, and then again play the video, so you will be getting the explanation of case studies from my part also. Remember, when we discuss the case studies, there might be difference of opinion between you and me. We will try to appreciate, the desirable answer together. There is bound to be subjectivity. I do not deny with it. No answer is 100% or absolutely correct answer, but some answers are better than some others. So we have to figure out which answer could be probably the best answer for serving in the capacity of a civil servant. Attitude. The topic of attitude is very, very important, particularly for people who are in public service, people who are in public domain. Attitude becomes very important. In a dynamic profession like civil services, it is your attitude which will determine your altitude. So I have said that it is the attitude which will determine your altitude. How high you rise in life shall be determined by none other than your attitude. What is attitude? How do attitude form? What are the characteristics of attitude? What are the components of attitude? What are the functions which attitude serve for us? How to change attitude? What are the theories which explain the change and formation of attitude? We shall be discussing short while. So, attitude is a topic which is very important, because if you hold appropriate attitudes, if you hold the right kind of attitude, you are in a position to deal with any circumstance or any situation, howsoever difficult or stressful it is, in the best possible manner, provided you have acquired appropriate attitudes. Maladaptive attitudes always lead to failures in life. Maladaptive attitudes always lead to failures in life. Then, we have values. The topic of values. Civil servants are given enormous power and authority, and they determine the lives of thousands and millions. Therefore, a civil servant must be a person who is loaded with values, who is loaded with humanity, who is loaded with that tenderness to understand human problems, to be sensitive towards human feelings. Hence, the person who is a civil servant with enormous power, resources and authority should not be the one who is valueless. He should be value free, but he should not be valueless. So he should be loaded with values, and he should be aware about his values. Okay? Only then he can create a difference in the society, he can bring about a social change. We will also see what are the desired values which must be present in a civil servant, that is, foundational values of a civil servant. Foundational values of a civil servant. So now, moving ahead. After values, you have another topic, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. People who are very intelligent have very high IQ. People who are very intelligent have very high IQ. IQ stands for intelligence quotient. It is a measure of how intelligent you are. IQ is nothing but the speed with which you can process an information, your brain can process an information, is IQ. IQ is nothing but error-free transmission of information through the brain. Error-free transmission of information through the brain may be defined as your IQ. People with very high IQ do well in their academics. They do very well in their academics. Their academic performance is very good. However, there is no certainty or there is no guarantee that they also do well in their career, in their personal lives, in the society. So having a high IQ is not a guarantee for having high success in life. Rather, it is often seen that people with high IQ but lack of emotional intelligence or low emotional intelligence end up in an inferior career, end up with a disturbed interpersonal relationship. They do not acquire the social stature which they should acquire had they got this emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is measured through EQ, that is emotional quotient. Emotional intelligence is measured through EQ, that is emotional quotient, and it is seen that people with high emotional intelligence, people with high emotional quotient are very successful in their personal life. They are the ones who make differences in other people's life. They are the ones who create differences in their life, and that too in a positive and a progressive direction. Emotional intelligence is the ability to be resilient against stress. So in stressful situation, normally people withdraw. Normally people break up. Normally people burn out. They give up against the problems. They give up against the stress. They are so scared of the problems that they withdraw. So there is a tendency in average people to avoid the problem, to evade the problem. Emotionally intelligent people are able to maintain their emotional stability during the stressful situation and deal with the situation firmly, appropriately, adequately with whatever resources they have with themselves. So they muster their resources when they are required. They are able to use their emotional property in such an intelligent manner that they can deal with even the severest of the crises. So having a high emotional intelligence is a prerequisite for becoming a successful civil servant. What is emotional intelligence? We will come to it when we enter this topic. Then, another topic which has been given in your syllabus is persuasion. Now see, a civil servant who is working for public, who is dealing with public, who is working towards a progressive social change, must be able to persuade people to accept the policies of the government, the plans of the government, which will lead the nation towards the path of development, which will impart people with a sense of well-being. So persuasion is an art by which we try to change the opinions and attitudes and beliefs of people in a desirable direction. So whatever opinions people are living which may be maladaptive, whatever attitudes people hold which may be maladaptive in nature, we have to persuade them to change those attitudes and acquire new attitudes which are more adaptive, and which will lead us to the path of progress. So persuasion is art which should be known by the civil servant, that how to persuade people, how to make persuasive communication a more effective communication. Social influence is also very important for a public servant. A public servant should understand how we get influenced by others. And if we can understand that how and when we get influenced by others, we can avoid such circumstances, we can avoid such situations personally in our lives, so that we do not get influenced. So, learning the topic of social influence will give you an idea that how even educated, rational people lose their rationality and become a part of the mob, become a part of the crowd. Despite being educated, despite being rational, how they come under the influence of others and lose their rationality, lose their morality. The mental barrier which has been created by our value system, the mental barrier which has been created by our value system, the mental threshold for a given standard of behavior which we have created or set for ourselves, we may lose those standards under the social influence when we are influenced by others. So we have to understand that when we get influenced in an undesirable manner by others, and if we can understand those factors, we can avoid such influences, and we can act rationally. So basically, in the topic of psychology, we shall be dealing with them, and I shall be beginning the class with these topics. And the first topic we begin with is the topic of attitude.